This episode is brought to you by Subreddit Surfing Live, Saturday, March the 9th. Comedy at the Carlson in Rochester, New York. Get your tickets now at carlsoncomedy.com. Join Vinnie, Cardiff, and producer Jimmy, as well as a whole bunch of special guests. If you miss it, then you miss it. But I wouldn't miss it if I were you. carlsoncomedy.com.
Hey, Vinny.
Yeah, Cardiff?
Do you want to go subreddit surfing? I wanna go subreddit surfing. Grab your phone, let's go subreddit surfing. 'Cause I wanna go subreddit surfing with you. We talk to folks from different subreddits because sometimes we just don't get it. We explore all kinds of subreddits. Subscribe now or you will regret it. Do you want to go subreddit surfing? I wanna go subreddit surfing. Grab your phone, let's go subreddit surfing. 'Cause I wanna go subreddit surfing with you. Vinny and Cardiff go subreddit surfing. Mondays at 8 we are subreddit surfing. 10 is too late for subreddit surfing. So be here now for subreddit surfing today.
Oh, aloha, big kahunas. Aloha, Jimmy.
Aloha to you all.
Aloha. It is just the great Cardiff Electric and Jimmy tonight. That is the extent of the show. As I said, we will be covering, I put in the title, I didn't say it yet. I guess I'm over-explaining now. But we will be discussing petty revenge. And as an example of petty revenge, I called Vinny earlier today, and he didn't answer. So, guess what I did, Jimmy?
What'd you do?
I called the FBI. And I said to the FBI, I said, listen, FBI, you got to look into this Vinnie Paulino. There is so much money going through Domino's gift cards. He must be laundering money for the Italian mafia. There's no other possible reason. So they brought him in for questioning and hopefully a full rectal exam. Because that's what he deserves.
Fingers crossed that happened.
Fingers crossed. But Jimmy, you've planned a great show for us tonight. You've got 72 guests for us booked. Thank you for that. You're really earning your keep around here.
I'm trying my best here.
Good. Now, we have a couple guests lined up tonight. We've got some stories to go through. So petty revenge, as I alluded, I guess that would be not considered petty revenge. That would just be revenge. Or maybe not what's the repercussions don't warrant the action. What's the phrase I'm looking for?
Oh, I wish I could help you.
Yeah.
Where's Vinny when we need him? Oh, yeah, that's right. He's getting fingered.
Getting fingered by the FBI. But that would be an extreme form of revenge for a very simple crime. But petty revenge is more simple little jabs back at somebody who has either annoyed you or messed with you in some type of way. You know, there's nobody showing up at your door at midnight with a hatchet. None of those kind of revenges. Just very simple, again, responses to what I would call in a lot of cases inconveniences in life.
Yes.
Yes.
There is also a pro revenge subreddit. I don't know if you stumbled on that by chance.
A which?
Pro revenge.
Pro revenge?
Like professional revenge, I believe.
So
Yeah.
Hitman, Danny the Hitman has his own subreddit. Dabblers Anonymous and Danny the Hitman, both. Got a lot of people at chat. Remember, if you're watching on my channel, we're over here on Subreddit Surfing. Come over, like and subscribe here. If you're going to super chat, do it over here on the Subreddit Surfing channel. That way we can pay Jimmy something. Because if you do it on my channel, screw these guys. That's all mine. That's going for my new mountain bike. I want to buy a mountain bike, Jimmy.
Oh, yeah?
I hear all the big podcasters are riding mountain bikes.
Well, you're going to need those big-ass tires from what I gather.
Why? Because I'm fat?
Didn't say that.
Who
Just
told you?
saying. It's the word on the streets.
Damn you, Vinny. Christian Bean, thanks for the $2. It's not subreddit surfing without our fat angel. Yes, that is true. He is a fat angel. I love that. Thank you, Christian Bean. Red 473, thanks for the 199. Cardiff and Vinny are John's scorned lovers. Yes, yes, we are. More Vinny than I. Tom went to school for trees. My friend, welcome to the show. Thanks for the 199. Vinny, you lost weight. Yes. Vinny, you had a half a tonectomy. Vinny. Roche, thank you for the £2. I see they screwed your head back on, Cardiff FKB.
Bye,
Yes,
Brandon.
the rumors of my death were slightly exaggerated. B. Dabbler, I believe, was having a jest at the expense of my loved ones, who are quite avid fans of You'll Remember the 90s. So my mother, who tunes in every Friday night at You'll Remember the 90s, was quite upset hearing about the 40 Chicky McNugs incident. So I had to
I
talk
missed
her
that
down.
one.
Yeah. Yeah. They started spreading a nasty rumor Friday night that I drove into the back of a logging truck and a log that was sticking out of the back of the logging truck went through my face and crushed it. And the police recovered my phone, and I was in the middle of typing a text message that said 40 chicken nugs. That is the story that has been haunting me all weekend. You know how many logging trucks I see up here? I can't go near them now. They're supposed to be my friends. A free to game. Thank you for the $5. Shout out to Jimmy. Don't fuck up, Jimmy.
Thanks, Free to Game. Appreciate
Listen,
that.
listen to her. She
It-
knows.
That's a him.
That's not what the picture says. Oh, did I make a mistake? I'm sorry, sir. Purple Monkey Dishwasher, the great, famous recording studio engineer, Purple Monkey Dishwasher, because he's the one who recorded so many great stand-up sets for us in the state of Florida. Since Vinny isn't here, that means you, Cardiff, can get all the super chats. Don't spend it all on poutine and tortieri. Also, a skull Purple Monkey Dishwasher, my friend and yours. We made love at DabbleCon, me and Purple. It was wonderful. JT, the bag slapper, thanks for the 1 in 940 Chicky Nugs. Hashtag Tetris champion, baby. Congratulations, JT, for winning the Tetris championship. I congratulate you with this. You've earned it, my friend. You've earned it. Yes, I am not dead, just in case anyone. I'm not AI Cardiff. Am I lagging, by the way?
Nope, you're good on my end.
Oh, okay. It's just here. But yes, so we have a few posts I want to go through. Thank you, everyone, for the everyone. Yes, Vinny's lost weight.
And he's
I'm just
grown
gonna
more
leave this up.
handsome. Yeah,
Sorry,
and I said, and he's grown more handsome.
he didn't say that. No,
I'm saying that. I'm
no,
sorry.
But Gunga Din didn't say it. Don't put words in Gunga Din's mouth,
I'll shut up now.
please. Actually, you know what? I'll just do this myself. I don't need these.
No.
I don't need you. Okay, so petty revenge. I pulled a few posts I want to get to. Let's set this up before we get some guests on that are going to tell their stories of petty revenge. And if you have a story of petty revenge, put it in the chat. We'll bring it up. We'll be monitoring the chat for petty revenges, petty revengeousness, whatever the word is. Okay, so the first one is I got revenge on my bully. In school, I was relentlessly bullied. Two girls in particular had it out for me. I was shy, loved to read, didn't do the popular stuff, nerd. So I was the perfect victim. They'd literally torture me by holding me down in the staircase when we were alone. See, I don't know if this is petty revenge. Someone needs to get punched in the face. We were alone and sticking pins into my arms and legs and feet. When I tried to tell teachers, they said I fell onto them. as they were lying on the floor, or I did it myself. Yeah, that's a lot of kids doing that. It didn't help that one of them was the daughter of one of the teachers at the school. Okay. Well, I finally got my revenge. I went to try out a new ice cream shop, and lo and behold, one of the girls was serving ice cream. I have multiple allergies, including milk and gluten, of which the ice cream shop claimed to be cautious. So I ordered gluten free and dairy free ice cream and set my phone camera up to film the area where the ice cream was being prepared because I saw that the girl had recognized me and was certain she'd try something. This girl she put herself at risk. She put her life in the bully's hands, but she knew she would. She had her phone set up. And she did. I caught her on camera putting a spoonful of milk in the bottom of the bowl and crumbling the gluten consisting wafers over everything, and camouflaging it with the last scoop of ice cream. She then put it down in front of me and said, "I hope you enjoy it." I sweetly smiled at her and asked if she could get the owner of the shop because I wanted to thank her for being so welcoming to the guests with allergies. You can guess what happened next. I showed the owner the video and told her that I'd like to press charges because in my country, it is considered a criminal offense called inflicting bodily harm to serve someone an allergen when you know the person is allergic. The bully
Yeah.
will never work anywhere where she'll come in contact with food again, and she'll have this on her criminal record for years.
Wow.
It's quite the elaborate way to get revenge.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sounds like you're trying to kill somebody.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if someone was poking me with pins as a child, I think the hammer is an appropriate response. I don't know.
I don't know. I've never been poked with pins.
That seems awful. Just awful. Jason Fusco, thank you for the 1 to 9. You're an imposter. OJ showed your death certificate. That could be. I mean, I could. What if I am it? Am I AI?
I don't know. Don't fuck with me. I'm schizo enough as it is. So
Hold on. I do like 40 chicky nugs. Oh no. It's true. I'm AI. Hunter
sad.
Duke, thanks for the 4.99. Love the show. Please don't ever lose the potato filter. Can't wait for the new Cardiff Christmas ornament. Oh, did you order a Cardiff Christmas ornament? Available on my merch store.
Really?
Thank you, Hunter Duke. Yes.
Oh,
Cardiff Christmas ornament was recently added by the great Doug from Who's Right, who manages my merch store. So that was an example. That was the first example of petty revenge. I think not too petty, but this, I think, Jimmy, establishes petty revenge for me. This is perfect. No one gets hurt. There's ice cream and like it's got everything. It's a happy ending at the end of the day. Again, except for the one getting getting
mm,
revenged, not avenged. Because if you're doing the revenge, you're the avenger, I guess. Is
yeah.
that right? I'm
Well,
still thinking I might be AI.
is avenging supposed to be that you're getting revenge for someone else, or are you getting revenge for yourself?
What did the Avengers do?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of that line from the Spider-Man movie with the Green Goblin saying "Avenge me." Remember?
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Wow. We'll never. Well, in this case, there isn't a vengeance because he's doing it on behalf of somebody. So the ice cream man stiffed my kid. Now I know what you're thinking, Jimmy. Not that kind of show. Okay. Not ice cream man stiffed my kid. My kid ran outside to get an ice cream from the ice cream man. I'm your ice cream man. Stop me when I'm passing by. I mean, all my flavors are guaranteed to satisfy.
Oh, okay. Took me a minute to realize what you're doing, but I got it.
Yeah, David Lee Roth. Kiddo returned a little sad. I asked what was wrong, and she said, I asked the ice cream man for my change. He gave me this lollipop and drove off before I could say anything. The ice cream man is ripping off children. Why don't
Hey,
you just put a little less in the cup?
maybe he had somewhere to be.
That's true. That's true. So my kid doesn't even like lollipops. Even if she did, it wouldn't have been a fair trade, not by a long shot. Like, was it a penny? Was it 50 cents? Was it $3? I don't know. Thank you, Chris Popke. What reference? I don't know. I like to know what I did great. Anyway, this is where the gentleman gets his petty revenge. And I think this is perfect. I drove over to Costco and bought a few boxes of ice cream bars. For the next few weeks, my kid shared ice cream with all the kids on our side of the street in our neighborhood around the time the ice cream man would be driving by. So my kid made some new friends, and no one on our side of the neighborhood bought any ice cream from the ice cream man during that time. The unintended side effect, when we ran out, other parents started chipping in and providing snacks for all the kids who played outside. So that nickel stealing ice cream man got it in the end, and now there's an entire street of kids where he is persona non grata. Jimmy, chocolate or vanilla? I've never asked you.
I mean, it really depends on my mood, but can I say a twist?
Yes, you can. That's the perfect answer. Thank you. Finally, somebody answered it correctly. I've been asking this question for 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh,
Both.
2 years. The Bowie reference. I made a Bowie reference?
I missed that one.
Oh, so did I. And I
Just take
apparently
it.
made it. Hold on. Everybody pause. I'm going to go rewind. I want to see what I said. Just everybody wait right there. I'll be right back. Yes, and thank you, OJ. Welcome to the show, OJ. Hit that like button, everybody.
What's up, OJ?
So yeah, that's a great great example for me of petty revenge. Here's one that's a little steamy.
Ooh.
You don't like my boyfriend. You don't like your boyfriend seeing me braless in the dorm. Is this me talking to you, Jimmy? So you don't like your boyfriend seeing me braless. Okay, got it?
Got it.
Perfect. Then he won't. I live in a college dorm on an all-female floor. I'm sure OJ's recording that right now too to use against me somewhere. No, this is the part OJ's recording. Hit record now, OJ. I usually wear a bra if leaving the dorm building, but I'm not going to put on a bra under my shirt just to walk down the hall to the bathroom. A few days ago, I left my room, walked 10 yards down the hall to the water fountain, refilled my water bottle, and back to my room. I was wearing a white tank top and no bra. The tank top was fitted but not see-through, so you could only see the outline of my nips.
Ooh.
This is important. That's an important fact. You can only see the outline of my nips. Got it, OJ? There was a small group of people hanging out in the hall outside of a few of the rooms, but I didn't think much of it until around half an hour later when I got a knock on the door from one of the girls I'd seen in the hall. She said something to the effect of, "Hey, so sorry to ask this, but if you go out in the hall again, could you put a bra on? My boyfriend's out there and he was staring a little." So I'm not super confrontational, but I was like, "Hey, sorry about that." And for the rest of the night, anytime I left the room, I put a bra or a sweater on. And that was the end of it, or so I thought. The next day, my roommate told me she overheard the girl telling a few of her friends about the incident while in the bathroom. She said the girl was making it to sound like I'd been purposely trying to seduce her boyfriend, wearing basically nothing, taking my time at the water fountain, posing to push out my tits, the whole works. When she left the bathroom, my roommate said the girl was actually acting it out at the water fountain, pretending to be me. So basically, now she's being labeled like the slut of the dorm or the slut of the floor, trying to steal everyone's boyfriend, I guess, right?
Yeah. But that's just how bitches are these days. They don't even mean to do it.
Yeah, it's natural for us. But so yeah, I'm going to jump to the end here. So she, at the end of it, she made an anonymous complaint to the resident assistant. Then we have our guest backstage. Mello will be with you in 1 second. If you're good to go, you can give me the thumbs up. I guess not. Okay. No, I haven't brought you on yet. I'm just going to wrap up this story. Okay. We need a producer, Jimmy. Where's our producer?
I'm here.
So she made an anonymous complaint because apparently there was a policy on having unmasked guests. This was during COVID in the dorm at that time. The result was now nobody's boyfriend was allowed in the dorm. But Jimmy, we do have a guest. I want to get to our guest right away. You connected with our guest in the subreddit Petty Revenge. She had a story that she wanted to tell.
Yes.
So let's bring her on. Hello, Mello.
Hi guys.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Welcome to the show. Have you ever been on a show with a potato and Jimmy before?
No, this is my first
Really?
time.
Really? First time with Jimmy. Congratulations. Okay. So you have Jimmy, I think you have Mello's post up.
Yep. I
You
have
wanted
it.
to read that for us, and then we can talk to you about it a bit, Mello, if that's all right.
Sounds good.
Great.
So, wake me with your alarm. Guess my day starts now too. I live with my boyfriend and one roommate in the house that I own. They both work in the same company, so their workday starts at 6 a.m. I work from home, so I sleep/get up pretty much whenever I want. It's worth noting that I'm a very light sleeper, and my boyfriend is fairly heavy sleeper that I usually have to wake despite his alarm. Just trying to. You got a long one here, so I'm trying to find the hot spots here. Boyfriend's alarm goes off at 5:30. He's usually up and dressed by 5:40. Sorry. I have no idea why he sets his alarm so damn loud that the whole house hears it. Now, I'm sorry, is that supposed to be your roommate or your boyfriend?
My roommate. Yeah.
Okay. So he sets his, and it's pretty much waking up the whole house. Especially
So sorry,
since
this was your
there's-
roommate's alarm. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
If the alarm was quieter, I wouldn't care. Sorry, hold on here. Trying to find the hotspots, like I said. I asked him numerous times to turn the alarm down so he doesn't wake the whole house up. He refuses to do so. Cue petty revenge. So your wake up routines involves a shower, dishes, cleaning, typical morning things
Morning
for
stuff.
a work from home. And your toddler will usually fall asleep shortly after. Like, what time would that happen? I don't see that time there.
So if she wakes up that early, then she'll go back to sleep within 10 or 20 minutes. But, I have to deal with that first.
Mom stuff I'll never understand. So I haven't gotten much out of my roommate except for dirty looks and the occasional "Why are you awake?" To which I respond with, "Because you woke me." He's not the sharpest tool in the shed. So he starts to complain that I'm being petty for no reason. I once again suggested for him to turn on the alarm or at least lessen the frequency, but he's refused to do so. So I guess we'll all have to keep waking up at 5. Except for my boyfriend, of course. He can sleep through virtually anything.
We have skills.
You have an edit here. This is towards the end. A lot of people are asking the same stupid questions, and I'm tired of answering them. Yes, I packed my boyfriend's lunch in the morning.
A lot of people have a problem with that. Yeah, a lot of people have a problem
Awesome.
with that. I don't know why.
Now, I don't want to keep going into your comments because I know there's some things that you didn't want to get into on there and whatnot. So I'm kind
Maybe you can rephrase the story. Did Jimmy capture it? Kind of the way you
Yeah, I think he missed the actual petty revenge part
Okay.
of what I did. But basically in the morning, generally what I do is I just go back to sleep after everyone is gone, left the house, right? But I have started to wake up as soon as the alarm goes off. And I've started my morning routine, washing dishes, letting my dogs out to run around, putting the TV on, basically just going about my day, and anyone who wants to run an alarm for half an hour every 5 minutes blaring loud does not get the opportunity to snooze, because now I'm awake and I'm doing things, and you don't get to sleep while I do that. And it's my house, so I can do whatever I want, and so I do.
I think that is a perfect summation of petty revenge. That's it. Okay, well, maybe is it more passive aggressive, or is it petty?
um
You do any
I'm
vacuuming
I don't,
6 in the
only
morning?
because I don't want my dogs barking. They don't like the vacuum cleaner. Um,
How do they feel about the
but
lawnmower?
oh, that they love that. They love that. Yeah. But yeah, that's basically what I do. And like I said, it hasn't really done anything except, I get some dirty looks and I get a couple of really stupid questions. But other than that, hey, I get a head start on my day, and I can still go back to sleep once everyone's gone. Works out for me.
Is so it's even today, it's still, his alarm still goes off for half an hour.
Yes.
He needs that ramp up, and
Yeah.
I can't say I don't. I guess I have to say I empathize with him a little bit, because I do the exact same thing with my alarm. I got to smash it about 5 or 6 times, but luckily I am the last one up generally. So
Yeah,
I'm not-
and like I said in the post, I get it. I used to do that. I used to have to get up at 5:30 in the morning to go to my office job. Like, it's not easy, and I'm not claiming it is, but why is it so loud that the whole house wakes up? That's my question.
just
The
turn it
whole
down.
house. I have a 3-bedroom house. There's no reason everybody should be awake from one person's alarm.
And I mean, there's that unwritten contract with roommates, right? Like, if you're in your own completely isolated space, you can be as loud as you want. You live on a farm,
Exactly.
you live on a 5-acre farm like Jimmy, you can make your alarm as loud as you want.
Yeah.
When you're sharing a space, you're relatively close to someone else. Yeah, you gotta think of your neighbors sometimes.
Especially with a child.
Yes. Did you have any other stories, any other measures you took, or any other petty revenge type of stories, Mello?
Well, I have started cooking breakfast loudly, clashing pots and pans. I did buy a blender off Amazon today. Should be here like tomorrow. Yay,
See,
Prime.
this is a
Smoothies.
constant.
So you're
So,
escalating.
yeah, so
You're
I've taken a lot of the comments to heart as far as additional preventative measures of things I could do. And then if that doesn't help, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Sullivan King. He's a great musician who does dubstep with lots of heavy metal
Oh, God.
guitar. And that's going to be my next kind of go-to.
You're gonna keep the bass down low, though, right?
Why would I do that?
So, do you have a plan on just annoying this guy so he finally leaves, or?
Well, the good thing is that it's soon to be over. So it's not something I'm going to have to deal with for much longer. So I'm just kind of having fun at this point.
I'm not gonna get subpoenaed for this video evidence, am I, Mello?
Absolutely not. Don't worry about it.
It's ending in a good way. Okay.
I choose violence, but not that kind of violence.
Good. And we all know silence is also violence. So
Absolutely.
don't be silent.
No.
Mello, thank you very much for coming on. Anything you'd like to promote? Any social media you want people to go to? Any websites, Twitters, anything at all?
Be good to your friends and hug your mom a lot. That's all I got to say.
.com.
Yep.
Be good to your friends. Hug your mom a lot.com. Thank you, Mello.
No
Thanks.
problem.
Joining
Appreciate
us.
it.
Great stories. Thank you.
Alrighty.
Have a
Bye,
good night.
guys.
Bye. That was Mello, everybody. One of our very few pop-up guests. Pop-up guest.
Yeah. Speaking of guest, just I probably should have just typed this to you, but whatever. I'll say it. My
Yes.
buddy,
Just come out and say it, Jimmy.
I'm
I
not.
love you too, Jimmy.
I'm not gay. Anyways, my
Yes.
buddy who I know personally, since elementary school, is in the chat right now. Says he's got to leave work in 10 minutes, but if you're still going when he gets home, he'll jump on to tell us his story. So,
Fantastic.
so
We look forward
okay.
to hearing from your friend. We want to hear all the embarrassing stories about Jimmy, little Jimmy.
20-year-old Jimmy or so.
Little Jimmy. Beavis Lee Ray, thank you for the $2. John doesn't negotiate with vegetables. That is correct. Jeff Williams only. Thank you for the $5. Whoa, it's my best friend and my favorite potato on my favorite Monday night show between the hours of 8 and 10 Eastern Standard Time with a surfing theme. Aren't we in daylight savings time now?
Yes.
Is it still Eastern Standard Time? I don't know. Free to game. Thank you for the $2. David Allen Coblared loudly is my wake up music. Very dark. Free to game. Very dark. And Satomi from the Karate Kid 2. Thank you for the $1.99. Nice meet woman. Maybe we start dildo sharing club. Oh, Satomi. You tricked me with your reference from a great 80s movie. Goizer Mass, I believe, is streaming for the link. Check your Discord, Goizer Mass. We will try to get you on.
Wait. What? I missed that.
Goizer Mass. He was in the chat saying he was looking for the link, so I sent him the link in Discord.
Okay.
I can do things too, Jimmy. I can do things too. Let's
All right.
read. Let's read one more, and then we have another guest backstage. Petty AF, we see you. We acknowledge you. We thank you for joining. We will be with you shortly because this, Jimmy, I love. We will. Some of us in Minnesota and maybe even upstate New York can appreciate the effort it takes to shovel the snow and clear some space for your parking spot for your vehicle. So my neighbor took my parking spot after I shoveled. And this person had a wonderful way to retaliate to their neighbors. It was a cold winter's day. 8 inches of snow had fallen the night before. The wind chill made it feel as if it were in the negatives. We will be there soon, especially here in Minnesota.
Do you have to
I
say
drive
like
in
that?
Minnesota. Yes. I drive an all-wheel drive SUV, bragger. So I have no issues getting out. My wife, on the other hand, drives a Prius, as your wife should. It's a girl's car, which slides with the smallest amount of moisture on the road. See? How can you do donuts in a car that slides around the road, Jimmy? My car was down at the time, so we had to take my wife's car. I'd rather walk. I spent 45 minutes in the freezing cold shoveling that car out so we could get to the store. We were gone for an hour, and when we came back, our neighbor had taken the spot I had shoveled. Our apartment complex doesn't have assigned parking, but in the winter, it's understood that if you shovel a spot, it's yours. So when I saw his car in the spot that I had just shoveled, I was pretty pissed. I would be pissed too, Vinny, if that's or Jimmy, sorry. No, your name's Vinny now. Never mind.
Whatever
I
makes the
got-
show work. It's fine.
I can appreciate that, but yeah, you shovel a spot, that's gotta be yours.
Yeah, I mean, you did all that hard work.
Mhm.
You're not going to do it for somebody else.
No. I do shovel my neighbors, but he's an old man.
Yeah, you got to do that though.
You gotta do that.
You don't want the guy to have a heart attack in his fucking driveway.
No. Not in his driveway, no. So now I'll have to shovel that too. Such a nice man. I just don't want to be around when it happens. Anyway, our friend here went inside, filled 2-gallon jugs of water, went back out and poured them on his windshield, rinse and repeat. I must have poured about 10 gallons of water onto his car. Being how cold it was, I was already freezing by the time I poured the last gallon on. It sat like that overnight. The next morning, I got to watch as he helplessly tried to scrape all the layers of ice off his windshield. Don't take my goddamn parking spot. Wow. That is, if you don't have, that's the, if you don't have remote start and the heat set on, you are in trouble for that one, Jimmy. Those of you in warmer climates down south, maybe even California have no idea what we're talking about right now.
Mm-mm.
But we are in for it soon, Jimmy.
Don't say
we're in
that.
for it soon. Winter is coming. But
Well-
Jimmy, we have another guest.
Yes.
Petty AF. Oh, sorry, Goizermass. I'll get to you. I have a guest ahead of you. Petty AF, welcome to the stream. How are you, sir?
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Doing great.
You were speaking to a potato, and Jimmy, congratulations.
Right on.
You've won. So, Petty AF, what's your petty revenge story?
Well, basically, I drug my camper down. I work out of town a lot, and I asked to be put on a corner lot, and I didn't get that. So this lady butts me right up next to somebody else, and the camping spots they're kind of tight. And immediately when I get out, I notice this guy's been letting his dogs out, pissing and shitting all over the other campsites, and he hadn't been cleaning it up. So I called the camp host and I said, just let him know, come out here and clean it up. This is unacceptable. And I think that started it off. It pissed him off.
Okay.
So about a week goes by and I come home. I'd already rolled my awning out and I've got a drop down surround patio, screened in patio. And I had it anchored down. And it cut off his access to the back of his camper where he'd walk around and throw his trash out.
Okay.
He's cutting through my campsite the whole time to do this.
Yeah.
Because he's got his camper backed up and a shed back behind that, and he's basically built his empire around the back of this.
Mm-hmm.
So I come home, fast forward to Sunday, and all my straps are cut on my awning. And I figured maybe it was just the kids or something doing it because there was a lot of kids hanging around there on the weekend.
Like you could tell it was a knife cut it.
It looked like they hacked at it quite a few times to get it to bungee cord, so they don't really cut very easily. So he spent some time on it.
He must have had a bread knife or a saw.
And, he cut a couple of them, and they were kind of worn out and stretched. And I was aggravated about it, but I thought it was some kids, So I go down to Walmart, I buy some knee straps, and I put a camera out. I get a camera from Walmart while I'm there, this little cheap little camera with a SD card. And I figured it's going to happen again. So on a Wednesday, I come home and all my stakes are pulled out of the ground. And I'm like, okay, it's getting ready to happen. It's brewing over there. I can feel something going. Set the camera up, go to work. I'm working 7 days a week, so I'm always gone. I come home, eat and sleep, and that's it. Sunday, I come home and my straps are cut again. I said, all right, I got you this time. And I look at the camera, and I see this guy coming out there, goes out to his shed, grabs his shears, and chops my fucking cables again. And then he chucks one up on the roof. And I was pretty pissed at this point. I'm sitting there stewing. I'm ready just to bust his windows out, go over there, drag him out of the camper, start kicking his ass. But I didn't.
What did you do?
So I waited. I stewed on it for a couple of days, and then it clicked. And I went down to the hardware store, and I got a couple of those fly traps, the bag kind, and you fill them with water. And from my understanding, they're filled with putrid egg yolk, and it smells pretty fucking foul.
Oof.
It's probably the worst thing I've ever smelled, and I've been in a lot of shitty spots. And so I hung them from the trees, and about a week and a half, I guess, goes by somewhere in between 5 and 14 days. And these traps are full to the brim with flies.
It was hot out too, huh?
Ground was shutting down that Sunday. So I had everything packed up Saturday night, ready to go. I just brought my camper to the job site Sunday morning. But before I left, I walked around the back side of the campground because he kept his truck parked up by the bathhouse. So I walked up behind that with my hoodie on, and I slapped the first one down the air intake on his truck. And I grabbed the second one. I said, let's see if his doors are open. So I opened the driver's door because he left his doors open. I slapped that second one all over the driver's seat, and it splattered all over his interior.
Oof.
So we're not mechanics, Petty AF. What would that do, throwing one of those into his air intake? What would that do to someone's
anytime you
vehicle?
turn the air conditioner on, it's going to draw it in. to your vents.
So it's the old fish in the ceiling tiles bit.
Well, it's got
But
the
for a
fly
truck?
bait down in there too, so it's constantly going to be attracting flies anytime it gets a little bit of moisture down there too.
Oh, you are one slick cracker, as they say, Petty AF. What part of the world are you in, Petty AF?
Midwest, Missouri.
Missouri. Have you ever? So you respect the potatoes in Missouri?
Oh yeah.
Good.
I've
So
been
you
to
never
Idaho.
shoved one of us in a tailpipe, anything like that?
No, never thought about shoving one up somebody's ass.
Who would that be, Petty AF? Maybe that's a different
cut my straps.
That would be the guy. That would be the guy. Did he retaliate? Did he know that you did anything? Did he?
I'm not sure because I was hightailing it out of there the
You were
morning I
gone.
did it. You know, I didn't want him to come back at me and do anything to me, so I moved campsites. I went to a whole different campground.
Smart.
How long ago was this?
This was about 3 weeks ago.
Oh, so this is recent. So you could
Oh,
still
yeah.
run into him again somewhere.
I mean, I could go back to that campground and find him if you want. We
No,
could get
no.
his side of the story.
No. We wouldn't want to. We wouldn't want to be responsible for any of that kind of stuff. We learned what happened on Jenny Jones. Let's leave it at that. Well, Petty AF, thank you for coming on. Do you have anything to promote? You're on a job site? Any company you want to send us to in Missouri if we need? What do you do?
I'm an industrial painter.
An industrial. If you
Bridges,
needed,
dams, towers, smokestacks, stuff like that.
you'd be amazed the people we have in our chat that need those services. So go ahead, give yourself a plug.
Nah, I can't do that.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Anything you want to promote on social media or anything like that?
No, I don't really have any social media. Reddit's pretty much it. So, I quit drinking 2 years ago, and this guy gave me an out to take out my anger, so I used him for my crutch.
Now, would you think you will be looking for situations like this again in the future? Because you seem to have enjoyed it.
No, but when they present themselves, I don't miss the opportunity. I had a guy flip open my toolbox one time because he got mad. I told him to clean the tools up at the end of the day. So I padlocked his hard hat to the bottom of the lunch table and left a pink hard hat in a spot.
The pink hard hat is not. You don't get a lot of respect on the job site with a pink hard hat, do you, Penny?
No, none.
Why has the construction industry not woken up yet to the future? We are all one people. I don't know what I'm saying. Petty AF, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks,
Thank
man.
you, and you have a good night.
You too.
Jimmy, that was a fun conversation with somebody I would like to go camping with. Seems like he was a fun guy.
Definitely.
But somebody I have gone camping with, I don't recommend it, is also here to tell a story from the chat. Goizer Mass, how are you, my camping buddy? What do you have for us this evening?
Jimmy, nice to meet you. Here's the thing. I was a little bit caught off guard because I asked for a StreamYard link. I usually get kicked, but then you sent me one, so I had to take a shower. I washed my car. Yeah. But I feel bad for the guy in Missouri. What happened? Now, I'm not really sure who was the bad guy because I think it took for the other people so long to cut his.
We're not here to judge. We're not here to judge. We're here to listen. We're here to learn. Did you have a story for us about an example of petty revenge?
No, petty revenge. My mother's 86. She calls me once a week. I left Germany 30 years ago, and she still calls me. And you know what? Here's the thing. I stopped drinking in 2001, but since I live in Canada now, I lose my German. So whenever my mother calls me, she says, and I lose German words. I ask my Japanese wife, for some vocabulary, and she said, "Are you drinking again?" That's what I get every week when my mother calls.
Great. Thank you, Goizer Mass. I'm going to
Other
let
than
you
that,
go.
I'm fine.
I'm very scared to talk to you right now.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Take care.
I don't want to be responsible for what happens to your lovely Japanese wife after this incident.
I'm too fat to go to the kitchen. She will feed me. Other than that, I'm fine. Jimmy, thank you for asking. You know, you're the only one who actually has a heart on this panel.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm German and he's a potato. You know,
Have a good night, Goizermass.
you too, sir.
Take
Thank
care.
you for having me.
That was unexpected, but
Hey.
entertaining.
For the
Another-
for the record, Cardiff, you sent him the link.
That is true. That is true. But that was we got to find something for Goizermass. There's a place for him in this universe.
We will find one.
I think the Goizermass verse has been born tonight. I look forward to Goizermass Con next year in Rochester. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. We have another guest in the chat. Let's see how this goes. Another beloved chatter, Nimrob71. Thanks for sending him the link, Jimmy. I appreciate it. I'm just getting culpability for myself, just in case this goes sideways. Hello, Nimrob71. How are you?
Hello, gentlemen. Good evening.
Hey, Nim.
How are you?
How are you guys? Goizermass is a good dude. I talk to him a
Yes.
lot. He's a lot of fun to hang out with.
Yeah,
So-
we're gonna do a show weekly with Goizermass.
Yes, I wouldn't blame you. The Germans would love it if no one else. Okay, so my revenge story is relatively simple. Worked with a guy who was much younger than me. No, maybe like 8-9 years younger than me. Kind of a punk. He always was trying to start literal fist fights with me at work, which I tried
How
to
soft
explain.
were his hands?
Very, considering that's he was he's a
Counting
young
money?
man. He hadn't experienced life yet, so the hands hadn't gotten roughed up yet. But he was constantly trying to start. So I tried to explain to him, we're at work. Anywhere else, I'd be happy to get into this with you. I'm not going to have a fight with you at work. Finally got to the point where I had it with him. And he had been bragging that he had been sleeping with his uncle's new wife, who was much younger than his uncle.
Okay.
Oh, my.
So one day while he was out, I called the office as his uncle. And I said, hey, listen, let's call him Mike. Is Mike there? And the supervisor's like, no, Mike's not around. I said, listen, you tell him to call his uncle, and he fucking damn well knows why. I want him on this phone, but by the end of the day, I'm coming down there. And so the supervisor, I obviously described my voice a little bit, so I should have recognized me. So the supervisor now, when Mike comes back from lunch, says, hey, she had a strong Spanish accent. She's like, Mike, you uncle calls. He's very upset. You need to call him back.
That's the Spanish accent I always hear when I order egg
I know.
rolls.
It was like Peruvian. It was a little off. But he bought it.
He does these impressions. You think it was the real
exactly.
people.
It's not. If it was French or Russian, I probably could have nailed it better. But Spanish a little off. But so he bought it because again he was a moron. He bought it hook, line, and sinker. He calls his uncle. Oh, and first he calls the new aunt, and they're in a panic. I can hear him talking to her, like, well, how does he know? How does he know? He then calls the uncle and essentially cops to something his uncle knew nothing about. He showed up 2 days later with a black eye that was probably 15 shades of purple. And I've never been happier with myself as a human being.
Nimrob, that's violence. I can't condone violence on this channel.
What about creating violence? Is that
For your penance, I am, and now, what do you do when you give a penance? I am demanding
Hail Marys or
12
Fathers.
FKBs.
Yeah. Oh, that I'm totally. Yeah.
and
Our
four-
hot dog who art in heaven.
4 FVPs. Thank you.
Thank you,
Nimrod.
guys. It was a pleasure meeting you guys.
He was
Very
well.
fun to have you on. Thank you. Thank you. We've got a rowdy chat, Jimmy. A rowdy chat. You don't want to mess with these guys. You better not mess around. March 9th, comedy at the Carlson, where you can come and see us live. CarlsonComedy.com. Get your tickets now. Go to CarlsonComedy.com. Scroll all the way to the bottom. Click buy tickets. Meet and greet poster. The whole shebang. We can all compare our extra inches right in the middle of comedy at the Carlson. We'll all just whip them out and compare. Sounds like quite the show, huh, Jimmy?
Do I have to partake in that part? The
Yes.
whipping? Oh.
Yes.
Do I lose my job if I
You're the-
say no?
Yes. Wait, did I just sexually harass you on the air? I mean, no. You're free to do whatever you want with your extra inch, Jimmy. But we'll fire you for other reasons that we'll think of after. And we'll do sounding.
No.
The subreddit you've been begging us every
No.
week to do. As soon as we stop the show, as soon as I hit end stream, Jimmy just goes on for an hour. Can we do sounding, please? I mean, I'm so well versed. He goes, I wouldn't even have to read any of the posts. I know them all off by heart. But Jimmy, let's go through a couple more petty revenge posts here that we have, and we will wrap up for the evening. Yes, Kinky Loco finally sounding. Yes, it's happening. So this next post is, so you want to snoop in your daughter's texts. So I'm married to a wonderful woman. She's smart, funny, and very kind. Uh-oh. Was this my post? Her mother is generally very nice, intends to have a great attitude and be very enjoyable. A bit of a prude, but generally enjoyable. However, can be a bit of a major snoop. If my wife leaves her phone sitting around, she will just pick it up and start going through it.
Oof.
Now, Jimmy, that's verboten territory these days. Am I right?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's invasion of privacy. No?
Yeah, no, that's the spot. But to your daughter, your adult daughters, I mean, I can get it if it's a child, like a little child, and you've given your 1-year-old an iPad with, for some reason you didn't delete the OnlyFans links that you had saved. I mean, that would be horrible. But you want to be able to see what they were doing. But no, an adult child going through their phone, verboten, I would say. But my wife has kind of laughed this off as a remnant of her mom being controlling when she was a kid. I'm not a fan of this because my wife and I will sometimes text about things that simply do not involve her mother, and I don't feel are her business at all. So he's not concerned for his wife's privacy. He's concerned for his privacy text to his wife's. Like he wants to make sure the mom's not reading. Like he doesn't give a shit if she's reading the daughter's text. He just doesn't want her seeing what he's texting to his wife. I get that. So over Christmas, I saw my wife set her phone down on the kitchen counter, and I had a brilliant idea. Her mom was still in the kitchen, and I sent my wife the most sexually depraved text about all the things I was going to do to her when everyone left. Honestly, most of them are things we haven't even done, but I had to make it extra scarring. So yeah, he wants his mother-in-law to read this. This is the path he's gone down. I sent this text from the bathroom, and maybe it was my imagination, but I swear I could hear an audible gasp shortly after the phone went off. When I went out, her mother absolutely would not look me in the eye, then not so discreetly asked her daughter to come talk to her in the other room. When my wife came back into the living room, I thought she'd been crying. However, upon closer inspection, she was laughing. Her mother had questioned her about me sexually abusing her, and if I always talk down to her like that. My wife told her that kindly that what we do is between us and us only. Probably the best gift I ever got this Christmas. Ouch. I wouldn't want my mother-in-law seeing all the eggplant emojis send all day. Mostly because I wouldn't want to explain what the eggplant emoji means.
Everybody knows what that means. Come on. Even if you're in your 50s and 60s. Gotta.
Here's one I always find. You ever been to an all-inclusive resort, Jimmy? A luxury vacation?
No, unfortunately, I haven't.
How about a city pool as chairs?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, good. Sometimes you go to these resorts and people will there's always one person in the party that'll be up at 5 in the morning. These psychotic people that wake up early. I'm not one of these people. Maybe their roommate has an alarm that goes off constantly. I don't know. But they wake up at 5 in the morning. They take 50 towels and they go down to the pool and block off all the chairs they want for their obnoxious people in their party. And then they go back upstairs knowing that they have seats reserved by the pool for the entire day. I say bullshit. I say the towel does not get the seat. The asses get the seat. Am I right, Jimmy?
That's right.
So if your ass isn't in the seat, you're out. You're out. So yes, that's the this next post. Somebody was retaliating against one of these people. I took away all the towel seat reservations at the resort. I was on holidays in an all-inclusive resort. First day, we couldn't find any lounge chairs by the beach or by the sea. Fair enough. We arrived in the afternoon. Next day, we go to find a spot, but most of the spots were taken by towels. We find an empty seat, and to our surprise, many of the chairs stay reserved almost the whole day and never even get used. So people are at the pool, nowhere to sit, but towels are resting comfortably in pool chairs. How dare they?
That's bullshit.
Third day, we decide to take some towels off of 2 loungers and enjoy our day. 4 hours in, an older couple shows up and said they had towels here and kick us off with help from an attendant. So the hotel is even playing party to this approach. That pissed me off. So every following day, I went to take the towels off of every unattended lounger after breakfast, and then went to watch the chaos from my balcony. Many people complained, and by the end of the week, there was a sign that unattended towels should be removed. Success. Just
Boom.
going to watch the chaos from your balcony. That's how you've chosen to spend your time at an all-inclusive resort. Congratulations to you, whoever you are, wherever you are. Jimmy, how about one more or two, maybe two. I kept finding bottles of peppermint schnapps in my yard. I collected them, then waited. Who drinks peppermint schnapps anyway?
Bums.
Is that it?
I think so.
Why? Is that closest to is that easiest to steal?
Maybe it's the cheapest. I would assume cheapest, but I'm not too sure on that.
I bought a house on a corner. When I moved to this area, I kept the yard cut and clean. This corner seems to be the place where trash was thrown out regularly. From the beginning, I kept finding peppermint schnapps pints along one of the fence lines. The first one I hit with a mower. It seemed like every day I would see one on my property in the same spot. I knew it had to be a neighbor, so I quit throwing them in the recycling bin and started to collect one after another. I hope to eventually find out whoever was had this bad habit. I filled one huge contractor bag, and then one turned into 2. One day I was off early trimming the hedges by the house. Then I heard a thunk, followed by someone hitting the fence. I finally caught the litter bug. Now I have the car and the driver. Wait a second. I heard a thunk. Yeah. Now I have the car and the driver. I jumped in my truck and headed the direction the guy went. He had just got out of the car and went inside. I drove back home, loaded the heavy bag of glass pints. Later that evening, I went to the man's house. There was another car in the driveway. I got out, rang the doorbell, and walked back to get the bags. An older woman answered the door as I was coming back. She asked if she could help me. I said yes. I told her that I've dealt with this problem and was tired of it. The husband had now come outside. I took one bag and dumped it on his driveway. Bottles broke and flopped around. I grabbed the other bag and did the same. I told him that I was sick of picking up after him and I better not see another pint in my yard. She immediately turned to him and started yelling. Apparently he had a bad drinking problem and promised that he'd quit. He would down the pints before he got home, and my yard was his dumping zone. I'd never seen another bottle of schnapps after this. I think Peppermint schnapps is one that's it's harder to smell in your breath. I think I remember
Oh
hearing that.
yeah, that makes sense because it could be mouthwash, I guess. Well,
Yeah.
pass it as that mouthwash.
So yeah, I guess the peppermint schnapps is for your hiding your
Ah,
your alcoholism.
uh-huh.
Uh, I believe we have a new member
Oh,
somewhere there. I don't know.
oh, I see.
John Double J, welcome. But FKB times 3.
By Brennan. By
That's
Brennan.
2. What comes after 2?
By Brennan.
Thank you, Brian Kowalczyk. Yeah, I have a similar situation to the peppermint schnapps guy.
Oh,
I have a guy, and I haven't found him yet. I have not found him yet, and so I don't know what I will do when I do find him. So maybe the chat can help. Jimmy, maybe you can help. We've learned so much about petty revenge tonight. Maybe you can help. I at my place of business where I do my other business other than podcasting. But even though podcasting is obviously what I'm best at, right, Jimmy?
absolutely.
Thank you. But at the other way I make income, yes, defrauding the government. That's how I make income. We have a truck driver, an employee, a FedEx guy, a UPS guy, somebody that likes to use the side of my building as his place to dispose of what's it called? His piss bottles.
Oh no. Oh no.
His piss bottles. little great value water bottles filled with a dark yellow liquid just
hey,
pile up.
eesh. He needs to drink some more water if it's going to be some dark piss, by the way.
Yes, I imagine that's why I've tasted the piss. It sounds a lot like coffee. It tastes a lot like coffee. So I'm assuming it's somebody who drives for a living, is constantly on the road, drinks a lot of coffee. No, not mason jars, the Wired Christian, water bottles, little great value water bottles, half
Yeah.
liter water bottles.
It sounds like it's definitely a truck driver. Like each week he brings a big case of bottled water. You know what I mean? Chugs one, then he can piss in one as
But
it goes on.
what kind of schedule? Or is this just one of his places that he disposes of his piss bottles? I
I would-
imagine it's only one.
I would assume they'd spread it out. If they were smart, they'd spread it out. But
Yeah,
if
I
you're
wouldn't
finding
use
a
the
lot of
same.
them,
Yeah, I wouldn't use the same location. So I haven't located. I haven't found him just yet. But when I do, I don't know what I'm going to do. What do I piss on him? Do I throw a? Do I up the ante? Is it a shit bottle? Is it where do I go with this, Jimmy? What kind of Ian Birdson? It's you. How
I mean,
dare you?
you
How dare
you could just start collecting them, put it, in a garbage bag or whatever, and just wait for that time. And we finally catch him in the act. You could bring the bag of piss water bottles to him and be like, "Here, sir, you dropped these over the past month, 2 months."
But if I'm collecting them over 2 months, there's no way they'll all last and not get drunk. I mean, I'll just be recycling for him at that point, and then he wins. I can't let him win, Jimmy. I can't let him win. But I'll update you all hopefully one day when I have found the pisser.
Yeah,
Maybe it's Kevin Dumbfuck. I don't know.
maybe you'll have maybe by that time you'll have a pro revenge story. So whenever we decide to go on that
Yes.
subreddit, could use it there.
I have one last one, Jimmy. One last one. I promise you all. This one is titled Don't Use Me to Parent Your Kids. It's good advice.
Definitely.
I have dwarfism, and this often leads to weird interactions in public, especially with kids. Sometimes a kid comes up to me and asks why I'm so short. And I have a pre-prepared response for that. But most of the time, they loudly ask their parents why I'm so short. Usually, the parents will awkwardly drag the kids away, telling them not to comment on people in public, which is sad but understandable. I like the parents who just say something like how some people are born like this And even though we look a bit different, we're still regular people, just like everyone else. Sometimes I hear a gem like, I bet he shrank in the wash. Ouch. That's apparent. What I can't stand is when people try to use me to parent their kids. I'm sure you can think of ways to convince your kids to finish their dinner plate that don't involve pointing at a dwarf in public and saying that's what happens when you leave your food on your plate. Or he didn't listen to his mommy when he told him to eat all his vegetables. It's rude, humiliating, and it teaches your kid that differences are bad and that people are at fault for the differences or disabilities. It just pisses me off. Rightfully so. Wow.
So what happens if you don't eat your vegetables?
Can you imagine somebody doing that? Can you imagine the parents that take their kids and point at Vinny and say, that's what happens if you don't eat your vegetables? Oh. So a few days ago, I was in public and a kid who was maybe 4 or 5 years old was acting out. And his mom was clearly struggling to keep him under control. So she pointed to me and told her son that I was one of Santa's elves. And I was watching him and would tell Santa about his behavior. The kid's name was on a key ring on his backpack. So I just said, it's okay, Hunter. You're already on my nice list, and told Santa you're getting an iPad for this Christmas. Hunter was excited. His mom was not. She is now on the hook for an iPad because she was a bit of an insensitive bee. Jimmy. Nimrob71, thanks for the 199. Phil Elmore Blast, please. I'll give you one. Rochi for Jimmy. FJC. FDG. I don't know. FDG, and of course,
Bye,
Brandon's
Brennan.
favorite FKB.
Thank you, Rochi.
Thank you, Rochi. Thank you. I need to give DG his own sound if we're going to continue with this charade, Rochi. This absolute charade. Jimmy, great show. Thank
Indeed.
you. Thank you. Oh, tell me that's not a Brad Williams story. Did she steal that story from Brad Williams? I hope not.
You know what? That's the comic, right?
Yeah.
Could
Yeah.
very well be. I'm not too familiar with his work, but
He's pretty. He's. I did enjoy him. I used to listen to him on Jim and Sam a lot, or even Opie and Jim. I believe every once in a while. Goizermass, thank you for the 2 Canadian dollars. Thanks for having me. Thank you, Goizermass. You are a psychopath, but I love you. It takes a crazy person to call out a crazy person. I'm dressed up as a potato for over a year now on the internet. This is insane. But Jimmy, great show. Where can people find you, Jimmy?
you can find me over on YouTube. Just search under the channel as Jimmy the Lip. I'm there every Sunday nights. 2 more streams I'm doing until the rest of the year because my busy season comes in full force. But you can catch me next Sunday and the Sunday after.
Uh-huh.
And then after that, I'll be back first Sunday of January. But I will be here on Mondays, of course.
Yes, we all know the professional skateboarding industry really winds up November, December. You'll be busy with professional skateboarding tournaments for the next few months. So congratulations on that, Jimmy. But Jimmy, it's time to thank our big kahunas, the people that took the time to go over to subredditsurfing.com, click that buy a membership or whatever it is you click. I don't know. I've never clicked on our own subreddit Patreon. But the people that did clicked something, they put in their credit card, and hopefully they put in a credit card that doesn't expire for many, many years. We don't even care if they're fake credit cards. We get paid no matter what. The banks eat. No, I can't encourage people to do fraud, Jimmy. Stop it, Jimmy. Stop it.
I didn't say anything.
Yes. But I would like to thank our big kahunas over there at subredditsurfing.com who've joined us. We're going to get some bonus content happening soon, maybe a Patreon only stream like we've done once in the past. But Bob K Kinky Loco, JT the Bag Slapper, Eugene the Bichon Freeze, Jimmy the Lip is there, paying himself. Thank you, Jimmy the Lip. Maybe we could give you a discount on your Patreon membership in exchange for some overtime. How about that?
You know, I don't mind paying. I like to be a part of the top 10.
That
I
is
wanna
true.
listen.
You're locked in now. If you leave now, we'll just
No,
it'll be obvious if you leave after you've been one of the founding 10.
I
Steve
know.
Martin. Steve is there. Fred is there. Hunter is there. Hall and Oates is there. Jervis, Gut, Damien, the Creep Off, Jib Mob, J Bone, Ken, Joe, Aaron, David, Hamad, Fisker Whisker, Daniel M, Steve, Stinky Italian Gang, Bjorn Cray, I see you. What was that one she did with the mirror? And she just read the names. I gotta start doing that. I need a mirror. What was that? Uh Somebody in the chat knows what I'm talking about.
yeah, I don't know. It's over my head.
Derek, Stoneman623, Goodhound, Pony Power 2, Tyler P, Victor F, Gregory K, Monty, Dylan P, Brinkomania, Carly, Rochi, Dr. Steve, Mr. Wiggles, Cyborganic, Charlie NYC, John K, Brian, Grampy's Champies, Kendi, Joe S, Josh, Joel, Nick Roach, and Ray Guitard. Thank you all for being big kahunas. I hope you enjoy your extra inches every month. I hope you're going to come see us March the 9th in Rochester, New York. Subreddit Surfing Live, carlsoncomedy.com. Go there, buy tickets. Come see us. We'll play games. Maybe Monopoly. Do you have Monopoly, Jimmy?
No, but I've played it plenty of times.
Good. You'll need those skills in Rochester because we're all going to play Monopoly. And we'll be doing sounding live with live sounding demonstrations by our producer, Jimmy.
No.
He's gonna have to show us all how sounding is performed. The Comedy at the Carlson has gotten a special permit to allow us to perform this. We're calling it a medical procedure, not a sexual act. So just remember that, Jimmy. Medical procedure.
I'm writing it down.
Yes. And don't worry, you have no insurance with us. So whatever happens, happens. It's on you. But thank you, everybody. Yes, Carl will be there. I mean, if that's what I have to say to sell tickets, Carl will be there. Come see the Clubfoot himself performing an act of stand-up written by yours truly.
Ooh.
Yours truly. But Jimmy, thank you. Go to Jimmy's YouTube, like and subscribe there. How do you say it again, Jimmy?
Jimmy the Lip over on YouTube. You'll find it.
Jimmy the Lip over on YouTube.
See.
All I have to say is Galaga and thank you and aloha, big kahunas.
Aloha.
This episode is brought to you by Subreddit Surfing Live, Saturday, March the 9th. Comedy at the Carlson in Rochester, New York. Get your tickets now at carlsoncomedy.com. Join Vinny, Cardiff, and producer Jimmy, as well as a whole bunch of special guests. If you miss it, then you miss it. But I wouldn't miss it if I were you. carlsoncomedy.com. Sit, Eugene, sit. Good dog. Da, 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 da.